What's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope everybody had a good week. I'm here with Alex from Rip Roaring Garage. Oops,
How's it going,
sorry,
Aaron?
sir. That was me. I'll turn my do not disturb on here. Hope everybody had a good week. Here it's awfully cold. I wanted to get the differential in my car, but yeah, change of plans. So it is what it is. It's all good. Reached out to Alex and I was like, hey, you want to stream? And he's like, oh, I'm always down to stream. So I appreciate that, sir. I really do.
It's good to be here.
So anyways, I want to talk
about thunder.
Yeah. Oh, you guys got storms up there too?
Yeah, we got a nasty one going on now, so hopefully it doesn't kill the internet.
Yeah. Well, if you go blank, we know why now. So anyways, I want to talk about this because I texted you. Did you see that listing on eBay for that?
I know.
Allocation?
That was like.
Did you see that?
And I honestly think that that's probably not going to be the worst. That's just what we're seeing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And here, well, I pulled up a website. I'll get into it here in just a little bit. But you're exactly right. And that's exactly. We're just getting into it, I think. And I did a poll. I was kind of, predicting everybody. I gave everybody an opportunity to kind of predict what's the highest markup that they think that they're going to see people pay. And it was actually a lot more common. People click the box of it's just something that they're not going to be talking about at all. So I think you might be on something there.
That's why I think when Kaniskis came out with that release saying that, we have record numbers of cars sold for MSRP. That was the trap slapped over your face, Mike. Really?
Yeah.
Mother lover?
Well, I know in the title I put 50%, but it was what was it, like 60-some%? I didn't have a specific number. That's why I didn't put it in the title.
65%.
63? 65%?
Something like that, yeah. And
John Todd, hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. There we go.
But what were you going to say about 65%?
Well, they were saying that 65% of all Demon170s were sold for MSRP.
Yeah.
Really? That's not
what I believe
hearing.
Them. Oh, I believe them. What do you...
I was just talking to somebody in the comments right before the show. Yeah. And they're saying, like, no, this can't be like, I mean, they kind of agree with what we're saying. And they're
when you say they, who is they? Who is they?
I forgot. It was literally just before. And
was it your audience or what?
Yeah, somebody, one of my subscribers. And just a little parentheses here. I want to make sure you guys knows that YouTube, for whatever reason, kind of puts your full user 654321 whatever versus your actual display name, like John over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. So sometimes I don't know who I'm talking to. Like some people I recognize them after a while. But anyway, so my apologies.
Yeah.
So we were talking because I kind of little bit of a clickbaity saying, most of the demons are sold for MSRP, and he was like, no, that can't be right. You can't be on that side of the argument. I'm like, no, I'm not, but it's still a true statement, and that's what we're going to get into tonight as far as why. How is this possible?
Technically.
These
slimy bastards are at it again, and I say that actually this is kind of relief. They are these dealerships anymore. Yeah. They're just fucking thieves, man. They are just terrible. This is a bad way to do business and practice. The thing is like. When people buy a car and they pay more than they should, and they're being done wrong and they're being done dirty, and you're forking over the money, and I can say this because I have personal experience with this, you develop a sense of bitterness and resentfulness towards that dealership because you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like
it can make you bitter towards the car itself. And I still have this feeling with the 170.
Sure.
Would I like that car? Yeah, but at this point, tainted the well. If I had the opportunity to buy it, right? Let's say a normal, and it's messed up that we have this idea that 20K is a normal markup. But let's say I had this opportunity, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I'm not interested.
No.
I got enough. Like in my situation, basically those guys that don't know me, I'm kind of an idiot that bought 4 Mopars in the last 6 months. So if I was to buy another one, I'm at the point where it would take considerable effort.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's not worth me calling 80 dealerships, 1,000-mile radius and so on. It's just not worth it. So that's why I want to say I'm done with it. And this is to go back to what you're saying, that when Dodge does these kinds of things, it's insulting to the core buyer.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir. You're absolutely right.
If I make that effort, it's going to be a Z01.
And yeah, I had an opportunity to buy a Z06 25K over. I turned it down. I got my Z01 at 5K over, and I'll be honest with you, kind of looking back on it, I'm just like, dude, I'm done. Like I don't know what it did to me, and I haven't analyzed the situation, but moving in and out of cars and buying cars and shopping and looking and doing this it used to be fun for me, and now it's I don't know what it is, but it's that joy is gone, because it's like awesome. Oh god, yeah. And the thing is that you see 25,000, 50,000, 100K markup on the new cars, but that stuff like trickles downhill into the used stuff. So now like a 4th gen F body Camaro that I'm seeing 20,000. I'm like, man, those cars used to be 35. Yeah, yes, sir. And those cars used to be $3,500 to $8,000 all day long. And yeah, now they're 25. And go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I can understand that for 3rd gens, the beer can Camaro, where they were like $2,000 or $1,000 for old tired car that was solid,
yeah.
And now I'm seeing it for 20K, but okay, fine, it passes that 25-year mark, and maybe you don't have the time or where to do another car. I'm struggling as it is with that Marquis, but I stand by that statement that the Crown Vics and the Marquis, at some point, they will be big money cars. Just not yet. There's too many of them. And
they're already going up, aren't they?
Yes, it is going up. Like, I just bought a Marquis and consider low mileage is like 100K. That's low mileage for 15 to 20, 25-year-old model, right? And I bought it for $3,000. And solid.
That's good.
Great. Yeah, great price. But I could have bought it for $2,000, but let's just say somebody was there and overexcited. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be her car, and she really liked it, and whatever. But
yeah,
we're seeing this with 4th gens. That's like 4th gen. I think was probably the worst received Camaro. Right, but let's get back to Dodge, because I don't want to bore John and my other Mopar nuts out there.
But the point I was making was, any platform which you could stuff a V8 in, it's through the roof. Anything, it don't matter if it's a car, if it's an automobile, V8 stick, the price is just stupid.
The stick shift cars are going up, because that's the first casualty of the EV push, the stick.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I got the Scat Pack stick shift. It's not a special car. It's actually a low option. The only thing it
will be. It will be.
Yeah. Well, that's the one I kind of want to beat on. And
yeah. No, I mean, it will be. It will be. It'll be. But I wanted to talk.
I'm planning a trip up to Wyoming, so I'll definitely be stopping in your neck of the woods, and we definitely have to do a comparison between cars. You'll see what
Are you going to be driving? Are you going to be driving the Super Stock?
No, I wish. That's just, I'm scared right now because
No,
We talked
I'm just
behind.
giving you shit.
Well, it's also because I had I just scratched my charger, so I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't look at it. I want to pass
yeah,
by the bad mojo. But
yeah,
um, yeah, it's funny because we look at. I still love these cars, right? But at the same
yeah,
time, if I look at one on the dealership lot, it's like I'm done. I'm out. And
yeah.
markups,
Emotionally, I'm drained.
yeah,
Emotionally,
it's tiring, and that's the problem with the
yeah,
Demon. So let's say 5 years from now,
yeah,
when Dodge comes to its senses, and I actually have some predictions about that. I actually think Dodge is going to go bankrupt, probably by
yeah.
2025, and Stellantis will be selling the brand. And then my meme culture, the little monkey, one neuron, in the back of my head is like, oh, let Elon Musk buy it. Like, wait, what? Doesn't he make Teslas? Yeah. Oh, that's
John
you.
Todd, no sir. I did not get the rim fix, but I do have a spare set here. When I bought my car, my dealer was going to write me a check to compensate for the payments that I was making while I was waiting for my car. They did take care of me in that sense, so I told them instead of cash value, they could go back to Chevrolet and go halvesies with material items, and I told them to give me some wheels, thankfully. So I do have a spare set around. It's just, man, it just sucks. But
Yeah.
I did have a couple other subscribers get a hold of me, and they did say that it is fixable, maybe a couple $100 because each wheel's $1,000. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
but no,
Wheels are
I
getting
mean it doesn't.
nice.
Oh, it's insane, especially those forged aluminum wheels. Yeah, they're
Are
nuts.
those
So
are those actual forged or what they're
yeah,
calling? I forgot what they're called. You know what I'm talking about? There's like a semi-forged kind of wheel.
like a hyper aluminum type situation, or
Yeah, because I know some of those are
no.
like that, and mine don't have it. This is like we're talking Ferrari, Lamborghini levels.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, $10,000 per
dirt
bill. Hey,
flow forged. I've never heard of
yeah,
flow
that's the
forged.
term, flow forged.
Oh, is
It's
it
like the
flow
cheating,
forged?
yeah, cheating kind of
I've
like
never heard of that.
Dodges have them on the wide body wheels and all that. They're pretty good. I mean, obviously they're better than your eBay specials and whatnot. But
It's not the
yes,
real deal.
yeah, that's what which you take your wheel, the one that's scuffed up, like somebody said in your comments there. That's a good set of drag radials.
I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into that and
Yeah,
see how it's. No, but yeah, it's they could, like I said, I got a spare set of wheels, but you know what? My car's a driver, man. I'm not worried about stupid little shit like that. I mean, I got a gouge in the paint in my front bumper, and I think I might get my keys out and doodle a little design in the other paint to kind of tie it all together. So I don't get upset about shit like that. You know what I mean? So
I
it's all
do.
fixable. It's no,
I go nuts over that. It's like, no, I can't sleep right until the car is fixed. And I wish I did
yeah.
paint, but and that's something
Oh
I actually
shit.
noticed. Dodge paint is. I thought Camaro fifth gen paint was thin and bad. Oh man, Mopar paint is
Yeah.
like really not there. It's soft too, so it scuffs, it swirls, and I don't know what the solution is other than maybe painting it again. That's.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what was that highest? The one you had that you texted me.
The highest that I ever heard of was 800,000 out of I think it was right around the Fort Lauderdale area. Yeah, Derp says all American paint is shit because of the environmental. Yeah, they've went to
That's
waterborne.
true.
The EDP, electronically deposited primer, all that stuff. The corrosion protection is still solvent borne, but the thing is like they try to get rid of emit the VOCs, which is the volatile organic compounds. That's what they try to get out of the air. Kind of the reason like Camaro went to like the copper free brake system, because they're just trying to keep the metals and crap out of the air. So yeah, once you start,
copper-free brakes are terrible.
they're massive. So I'd imagine you could try to like change pad compound, and maybe it'd be a cheap brake upgrade. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no.
I'm curious about
Go
that.
ahead.
But yeah, we can talk. Actually, that's a good topic for the Camaro stream, where we can talk about the copper free stuff as well. And if anybody
Tomorrow.
watching now, yeah, just
Tomorrow.
stick around, because we're trying to come up with solutions here, not just
John
problems.
Todd says, it drives me crazy when I get a scratch or something on my, yeah, it used to, but you know what? I let shit go. And, I mean, maybe it's different because I have the ability to fix it. Maybe,
paint for me, I suck at paint. I'm the spray can kind of paint guy.
No, hell no. No.
I do steel rims pretty okay. Steel rims and Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
That's my level. I know where I sit. I don't try further. But
I don't know why, but this has been my trusty for years. I spent $1,000 on this paint gun, and I can't tell you how many cars I've painted with that. But I don't know why. I don't know why it's by my desk, but yeah. But anyways, getting back on topic of, says I'm not a mechanic or a fixed guy. Yeah. So I mean, I would imagine that when something happens and you don't have the ability to change it or remedy it, it probably would bother me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other shit, but yeah.
Like
I can.
I got 2 cars right now that need bodywork. Minor stuff, but it drives me insane. And that's the Challenger hood. I had something fall on it, and the Charger where it was. Long story short, I literally fell like a, and my jeans caught the end and put a gouge in it. Like, great.
Yep.
So don't have enough time to spare. Anyways, but so let's we can get caught up in Camaro stuff, but the Dodge thing is
I want to talk about these markups, because these markups are becoming a license to steal.
How are they getting? Why can Kaniskas say that majority of the demons are sold from MSRP? Well, there's a couple of methods. The most common one I've heard of is, and parentheses, I'm curious to see what the statistics will be for 2023 sales in 24 for the Hornet, because they're telling you, we'll sell you a Demon for sticker if you buy a Hornet for $80K market.
Yeah, I saw exactly where you're going with that. Is it just one, or is it 2, or is it 3? How many Hornets you gotta buy there, Alex?
Some of them will do multiple cars, so it spreads out that huge markup. So you can buy $80,000 Hornet times 5, whatever. Or they're doing, like you're saying, the eBay.
Man, they're real popular. Those Hornets are they're the new thing, buddy.
I know. They're good. It's like
they're freaking amazing. Yes, they are. Wow.
And Kaniskas doesn't mind this, because he can then say, "Look at the Hornet. It's the best-selling car in America for Q1 or Q2."
You bet your ass.
And then they can inflate the prices, say like, "Oh, look at record sales and all that," not realizing, or the naive consumer just wants a cheap little car, doesn't realize that those are based on this Halo car that everybody was spending like crazy on.
And they paid 500% markup on that car by itself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So do you have those 2 methods? One is a solo car, one is a multiple car. Then there's they still have silent auctions, and this is where you start getting into illegal activities, where the car is sold as no markup, but there's an exchange of cash under the table to the dealer owner with the silent auction, because nobody knows. It's just a little piece of paper. This is what I'm doing, and they just put it in a little spreadsheet. Take the top guy. Hey, you want the car? Well, yeah, you said you're going to bid $1 million. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Okay, click.
Oh.
Goes to the next guy. And the next guy will...
You know, if you make a $40,000 donation, I'll tell you what the top bid is.
That's another
You
thing
know
too.
what? You know what I'm saying. I mean, there's just you can buy information. They're playing so many dirty tricks.
With the 501c3, like, hey, if you donate on our behalf, and this works with the big chain dealerships, right? Less so in like the Northeast where there's not a lot of like, John Carmen Dodge, John Carmen Lexus, John Carmen Lamborghini, and there's like a whole block of just dealerships. It's like Oklahoma, Texas. They do, you see these kinds of things. And what they'll do is they'll say, hey, you want to buy this car MSRP? Great. Put a donation in for whatever children's hospital for $1 million in our name.
Yep.
And then they take that donation as a tax deduction.
Yeah.
And they make their money that way. So it's hard to track, and Dodge will not track this because they don't care how you donate and what you do. But
are they donating the other cars, the Hornets?
No. This doesn't concern the Hornet. This is like, I'm going to take this money and donate it on behalf of so and so LLC dealership, right? Yeah. And they get the tax deduction out of it. And the car sells at MSRP because Kuniskis said, and the way they are trying, Dodge officially is trying to limit markup is by saying that those dealerships that put in orders with a high markup will get a later number production car.
Yes.
And there's a possibility that the car may not even be built. If it's like car number 3,182, then it's going to be maybe. Whereas
low priority.
If you get a car at MSRP that's being sold, Dodge will put that front of the list. You get car number 20, car number 42, and so on. But Dodge doesn't care how you get about, this MSRP goal, right? So if you sell those 3 Hornets, each one for $100K markup, they don't care. Right. And you think that Kuniskis doesn't know this? Of course he does. Right. But that's what makes it so frustrating and insulting, I think, that he knows this, and then he goes out and releases this as a press release, bragging about it. It's like, dude, we know what you're doing. Why are you lying to us to our face?
And that's why I think it's important to have this conversation, especially on my channel, because
it's going to happen to Camaros next year.
There you go.
Sorry,
this kind of no, you're good. You're good. You're good, dude. Yeah, it's because it seems like GM learns from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? They kind of develop habits. They follow suit to all the other brands. So this is kind of like looking into a crystal ball and seeing what's going to happen with maybe this final Camaro. This, you know what I'm saying? So. Well, I think it's important to have this conversation on my channel because it kind of preps you for what is to come on, with Chevrolet, GM, whatever you want to call it. So,
and pretty much any car manufacturer that comes up.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Toyota wants to put out another Supra. Guess what? You're going to have to buy 15 Corollas.
Yep. And just wait till Ford's the last gas car, or the Mustang's the last gas. Then they'll have the monopoly. It's
they're going to be the only car in the market that's going to have a stick shift V8 front engine. That's why
go ahead.
I don't think that GM is going to kill off the Camaro. That's my hunch.
I don't think they are either. I don't think they are. I'm going down swinging. We might have like a 2 or 3 year break, but
I don't think that.
I think the Camaro,
because it's the market. Look at the appetite for these Emmys. Right? What's going to happen? Hell, by June.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and that's T Browning. I don't know if T Browning's in here, but yeah, T Browning dropped it the other day. He said he talked to his inside source and said that what was it, June 2nd? June 2nd, they're going to drop this collector's car, and then they're going to be taking orders effectively June 15th. And that's the thing is, none of us work for GM. None of us have an inside source. All of us are taking all the puzzle pieces which we found collectively, thinking and has, God dang it, switched over there. So I got to keep an eye on it.
That's what makes it, like a lot of
None of us know. None of us know. So,
how many times have you seen a channel with an inside connection? And I'm not going to name any names, but those of you guys that watch my channel, you know who I'm talking about. My last video.
Bastard, yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm, and then there's all, the other channel.
We might not be thinking about the same person then.
We probably aren't, but that's okay. The point is, they're claiming to have insider knowledge, and then it turns out that it's false. Yet, somebody like you and me, just looking at it rationally.
But that's okay. That's okay.
But we're right. We end up being right more often than they are with their insider knowledge. And that's why I say that there will be a 7th gen Camaro, because it doesn't make sense. If you're a bean counter.
Gas?
Yes, absolutely. Gas V8 stick shift.
Manual?
Yes. That would be, because Dodge is leaving the market. That's a big void. Mustang.
I think Dodge will be back.
It'll be back, but in about 4 years. It's going to take time.
Probably.
Because Dodge is killing off a lot. There will be no more Hemis that they will be making, right? Like, what happens when that plant
mistake? That's a mistake. Well, they're having so many problems with the Ram EVs. I mean,
the problem they're trying to do, and why Dodge is going this route, it's less about the ideology of an EV and all that, right? It's about labor contracts, United Auto Union, and all that. They're trying to shut down these plants, kill off the contracts, because that is a clause in the contract that if they shut down the plant, they don't have to pay them all the bennies. And then they import a powertrain from Europe, from China, from whatever, where they don't have these insane labor rates, the contracts.
Yeah. Do you think Dodge will come back with something else?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
But they're going to be stuck developing something quick, because right now they don't have the money to develop it. And they don't have the money because Stellantis holds the pocketbook. And they're saying, no. I do believe that the Demon, they tried, they penny pinched. And if you look at even the history of the Viper, how much money did they use spending, right, for development and R&D for the Viper? It was something like $5 million. $5 million. And it was 1987, so yes, inflation, but that's still nothing. And they developed this huge car that nobody knew about.
But they also brought on some other people like Lee Iacocca and Carol
Shelby,
and
you had Bob Lutz involved as well. And they made an emotional appeal to Lutz, for example, saying, look what we got. Yeah. It's a V10. And it's like, it'll kill you. There's no electronics, no whatever. This is a Widowmaker. This is the new Cobra. And he says, like, sign me up. I want this. And everybody thought that they were going to lose their jobs. The board were going to throw them out because this thing would be a flop. Turns out it wasn't. So Dodge has this capability. But let's not forget that Dodge also made a Shelby that was a front-wheel drive K car. The Charger of 1980 something, right? That was a K car, a freaking K car. So Iacocca is not, like, I have a little bit of beef with Iacocca, right? Like, he's not my favorite guy because of the K car. But, I understand it. And this is where trying to think like bean counters helps you kind of foresee what's Dodge's next step. And that is
breadcrumbs.
Yeah, they will have no choice. Not to mention that there's a big divestment from EVs in China. Just before the show, I was watching some news that Warren Buffett, he's selling a 10th round of shares in BID, Build Your Dreams, the biggest Chinese automaker, electrical. Yeah. So if they're divesting from that, they can't sell these cars. They're sitting in lots rotting. What is that going to do with EVs in general? There's a big crash coming. And Dodge...
Nobody wants them.
Dodge just made themselves a...
Nobody wants them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna have to
They
take a
double
bite out
down
of
on it.
it.
That's a
Exactly.
double decker. That's a double decker.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? There's not enough bread. There's not enough
Exactly.
bread. And good. I want to watch them choke on it too.
They
Yeah, I want
will.
to watch them. Yeah.
And at that point, you're going to get like, okay, well, we got to develop something. What do we have? They'll have the Hurricane, so they're going to try to develop a V8 out of the Hurricane engine.
Exactly.
You know,
Rob Day. I thought Dodge is killing the V8 Charger Challenger, but keeping the V6. So Chevy 2 is probably killing the V8. No, Chevy has got a new V8 in development right now.
yep, they just
But they
spent $1
still have the
billion.
V6 and 4 cylinder. Yeah. All I hear is hemi, 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 but what about the V6?
Well, the Dodge is killing off.
Is that the Pentastar? Is that what you're talking about, Rob? Okay.
I think so because it's the only V6 that was in the L bodies, the Pentastar.
Well, I wasn't sure if he was talking about the Hurricane or if he was talking about the Pentastar.
That's a straight
okay. All right.
The Hurricane. And I hear all sorts of things that there's going to be a scat pack of this new Charger Daytona, or, twin turbo, whatever. But here's the problem. If I want a straight six twin turbo, do I go to Dodge or do I go to BMW? That pretty much cemented the straight line six performance engine. I'll go to BMW.
Oh my God.
It'll be a better car. I want a Dodge because of the V8, the torque, how it handles, doing burnouts, going sideways. Not necessarily the fastest car around the track. If I want a track car, I get a ZL1. A 1LE if I want, or even a GT350. But if I want just straight line traffic light to traffic light, you get a Dodge. And
my theory, my hypothesis, whatever you want to call it, my inkling is telling me that they're going to keep the Hurricane. They're going to keep some kind of gas car around, whether it's a 1 cylinder or a half a cylinder or whatever. They're going to keep some kind of gas car around. That way, all they have to do is throw together a motor, dump it in, and away we go. And they're back on the rebound. You know what I mean?
Let's say 600, because that's what the number's floating around. 600 horsepower, straight six.
Okay.
Would you consider that over a 500 horsepower V8, like the Mustang Black Horse?
See, the Toyota Supra was very, very successful, bud. I mean, but it's a yes.
It's a different type of car. If I want a Supra,
it's a different demographic too.
Yes. You have some that I don't mind. Like, I've never owned a Japanese car, but I wouldn't mind. I was actually considered the AE86. What's it called? G. What's the Toyota? The Subaru Toyota.
Yeah.
I was considering that.
I don't fall for it.
Yeah, it was like the orange package with the stick shift. It was orange, had some racing stripes, kind of cool, cheap. And I was like, you know what? Why not for a daily beater car? Beater in quotes. I was considering it, but not for a V8 type car. Not for the kinds of cars that you want. That you guys are watching. That what you guys want, right? No. It's just not the same. And Dodge is trying to sell us a 6 instead of a V8 in our heads. And I don't think it's going to work.
It's a different feeling when that 6 is all you have. You know what I mean?
Then you go to a Corvette. You might not get the top of the line Corvette, but you'll get a Corvette. That's what I think is going to happen. And I don't need to go off.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, God.
Derp.
I'm looking for my phone.
No, it's an entirely different. Because see, I mean, you can look at the V6 now and say, "Do I want a V6 for a beater car?" That's fine, but you also have the option for a 5.7 or the 6.4 or the super, a Hellcat supercharged. You have that on the back burner. But my thing is when the inline 6 is your top dog, and that's all. I mean, that's a totally different feel. That's a totally different scenario to be thrown yourself into.
So you might consider a used car.
Oh,
And that's,
yes.
remember, I mean, a lot of
Yes.
people, I mean, I wasn't alive back then, but what happened with the first oil crisis in 71, 72, right? When all of a sudden new cars were competing with old cars. Like a 1-year-old Challenger was, like a 70 Challenger was way more sold out than a 73 Challenger, right? Especially since you had emissions that were starting to pop up, inspections. You couldn't just desmog it like we do nowadays because it's an older than 25 car, right?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. No,
oh,
it's an entirely different scenario, but yeah, it's an entirely different market too because now we're talking change, big change, and I'm afraid once the damage is done, it's gonna be to the point to where it's like, can you
a
fix
decade,
it? You know what
a
I mean?
decade long to fix it. That's what it's going to take for Dodge.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
going
that's what I'm
to.
saying.
It's going to be the '80s. They're going to have the K car again, which is one. It's
Well,
still a platform. It's one platform. That's
but
all
we
going to
still
happen.
have we still have these little problems when we're like, okay, we're just going to shut down for 2 weeks. Okay, we're going to shut down for 6 months. We're just going to halt production. So now we've got like this big gap in time to where we're really throttling down the production of vehicles intentionally, and now we're going to go into a market to where very few people are going to want the change that's coming, and then it's just going to completely fall on its face when we
Between
could have been
that,
building cars all along.
the economy that's not great, and I think it's going to get a lot worse by the end
Yeah,
of the year. New car sales
yeah,
will be going just belly up. All that's going to be left right now are some. There will still be people that want to buy these cars, right? And
yeah,
if you look at like the late '70s, and what did Dodge have? Nothing. It was only a battle between the Mustang and the Camaro. Both of them
yeah,
were very underpowered. The Mustang went into the horror that was the Mustang 2, uh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Pinto Mustang, right?
yeah,
Until they kind of, figured out, hey, let's not bypass, but let's put our heads to it and figure out how can we make horsepower with these stupid laws. And they did. And you get the Fox body.
yeah,
And then the Camaro comes up with the new F body. And little by little, you go from an 82 Camaro, right? And you go all the way up to the 92. Is it 82 or is it? Yeah. And by the last generation of the IROC, you got some decent performance out of it. Now, it wasn't a straight line rocket that the first gen
right,
was, but it could handle, and autocross was becoming more popular, racetracks here and there, right? And it looked good. They were starting to say, like,
yeah,
hey, we're not going to repurpose some Pinto or whatever.
right,
Like Mustangs were, because everybody was making fun. The Fox body was basically, I think the first one was the Lincoln Versailles. Not even a great Lincoln, and that's where you make a Mustang out of. But it turned out to be a good call, end of the day. And that spurred on this whole new muscle war by the time you get to the 90s. But then the dot-com bubble burst. People were losing
yeah,
money, bankruptcies everywhere, and the Camaro disappears in 02,
yeah,
leaving just the Mustang, which was, again, using a Lincoln engine, the 4.6, and not a lot of power, not a lot of whatever, until something happened. Well, the economy started booming. People always want a big V8, kind of car. And that's where you get the Cobra I think the Cobra was the one that kicked it off. And GM, like you were saying, was following suit. It's like, oh, let's bring back the Camaro then. And fifth gen appears. And Dodge was like, what? Oh, you're doing that? Oh, well, let's try. They did have the Magnums, like these weird V8, Hemi
yeah.
5.7s, right? But
I think they were just trying to figure out how to sell the Viper, get the Viper to sell. I think they were
I
trying
don't.
to get the Viper to be what the Hellcat
Well, it
is
was
now.
selling. It's just it was never meant to be a volume car, right? And it was supposed to get people in the showrooms, and it did. And it started to create this. Also, I have to say this: like, if you look at the advertising and the mentality of Dodge, they were always the more patriotic ones, where we're Americans and proud of it, and
Yeah,
a little bit crazy. And We're not doing this Euro design and whatever. We're just building big V8s and putting it in anything. And that's what led to the Charger, the first gen new Charger, evolving into what it is now. The Mercedes thing had a big impact. They learned how to make good cars, quality cars. Mercedes learned how to make cheap cars, and that was Mercedes flopped. And they say like, no, we don't want cheap cars anymore. Like, stop. And they divorced. And okay, what? Oh yeah, you have to show that up.
Per GM Authority, rumored 2025 gas-powered Corvette cross. Oh, Jesus fuck. And another article saying 2024 production starting August 7th, 2023, ending production January 2024. Thoughts? It doesn't. Okay, here's Mr. Burley, and I'm saying Mr. Burley with all the respect in the world for you, sir. Listen. My thoughts are nobody works for GM. Everybody here knows nothing for sure.
Yeah.
So, being wrong is part of it, but I'm willing to take the risk to say, from a business financial decision, it does not make any sense to say we're going to have a 2024 model year for 30 days.
Well,
it does not make. What do you think? Do you think that they're going to end production in January? I don't believe it. Just does not financially make sense to me that they're going to.
Now the Corvette crossover, unfortunately, I do see that,
dude. Yeah, you know what, and I believe it too. That crowd, it's different. It's different. I can't buy a Corvette. I can relate to. Now I'm starting to notice there's like different tiers of Corvette demographics. Like a C6, I relate to that crowd, but it's kind of like the Camaro spillover. But the Corvette, are you thinking about getting one, Mike? Are you thinking about getting one? You're gonna buy one.
I think the Corvette, you're gonna have a 4-door crossover, electric or hybrid electric, because the demographic that buys those kinds of cars is female for the most part, like the Mustang, the horror, the what do they call it? The mockery.
the mockery.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's a good one, actually.
You're not going to see car guys buying that. It's mostly, it's actually a mostly female demographic buying that car, and the same is going to be with the Corvette. They want a piece of that. Now, the Camaro, I've heard rumors about a 4-door Camaro as much as a 4-door Mustang. But ultimately, it doesn't really make sense. It eats away from sales from other cars, right? Especially if you have a 4-cylinder V6 4-door. What's the point? Just get a Malibu or whatever the hell they're making, because I haven't kept track anymore. You know.
Unfortunately, right now you have Mary Barra trying to speak out of both sides of her mouth. You know, she's went on record saying that, you know, the ZZ632, oh, this is going to decimate all EVs, trying to appeal to a certain demographic to pull them in. Then you got her on interviews saying, you know, it's not if, it's when we beat Tesla in the EV market. And it's like, dude, Tesla's already come out and said that they're going to stop making cars. So that's really not much of an achievement in of itself. So the thing is like, we got this whirlwind of bullshit, and I don't, you know, it's kind of like that game. What do you call that game where it's like dollar bills flying around everywhere? I mean, we're kind of in that right now. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, I know what you mean. The Corvette crossover, I do see it happening. Emotionally, I haven't really invested into that aspect to try to follow it.
Well, there's a reason.
I do have my ground. But can
it's not just like
what reason for what?
for the Corvette crossover and the Mustang EV and all this. And I've spoken to a bunch of people, in particular, kind of people that would be into this market. You get like the typical Facebook employee, female, 30s, moving up the ladder. And again, this is, let's say, last year, because right now it's pandemonium.
Sure.
These companies are getting laid off, like crazy. But
that's what I'm saying. It's a whirlwind.
Yeah, that's the demographic that is targeted, right? And they want power, or the impression of power, because that's what a lot of cars do sell. They sell a fantasy of you're fast, you're powerful, you're this, you're that. But most of these buyers, and it's not just females, there's some men in there, male, I don't want to call them men, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with these kinds of cars. They don't want to have to replace oil every 6 months. They don't want to do brake jobs that cost $15K for carbon ceramic brakes. They don't want any of that. They just want to brag to their friends, I bought a Camaro, I bought a Corvette, I bought a Mustang. I'm the cool mom that brings my kid, and I have a Mustang. Reality is, it's just a name. But it works.
Do you think that they're trying to be trendsetters? Well, I got the new one. I got the new.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
What do they call it? Driveway envy. How many people buy cars based solely on that? Or like I said, it's less. It's more of an issue amongst women. Guys compete more directly, right? So like, I don't care what you have. It's like let's race it, right? That's how guys will compete. And then it doesn't matter if it's a new car, old car, whatever. So that kind of marketing doesn't work. It was always of what can the car do, not what the car is. Right. And, this is like a weird era we're getting into. And now that, like I said, the economy
That's what I said.
It's going down. Yeah. GM may cancel that four-door Corvette. It might not be worth it to release it, to the damage it'll do to the brand, because the Mustang mockery, right? It damaged Mustang's image severely. That's why, what was it, last year, the Challenger had its best sales ever. Not just because it was the last, I'm talking 22. Yeah. So you can't say it was the last one. No, that was because nobody wanted to say, I have a Mustang, when people think what they saw in Car and Driver and all these magazines. But that being said, I still think that GM is going to make a new Camaro. But GM also works a little differently with their allocations. It's not like Dodge. GM, I think it's harsher with the dealerships. So I don't think we're going to see the insane markups, because we haven't so far. Look at the Z06s. What's the worst markup story you heard about a Z06?
100 grand, 120 grand.
We're not going into the millions like with Dodge.
But it's also...
and that was only for the first year, so it can be the first one, because after that it normalizes.
Here, it's kind of like the planets lining up, because you have different markets of hype. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? Like, you've got different hype amongst all brands, because the Charger's going to depreciate at different variable rates than the Mustang or the Camaro. You know what I'm saying? So
it also depends on the model. If you've got a GT350, that thing is gold. If you have a regular, GT, it's like, so what?
Yeah. And it all goes down to like brand. So, the fact of, maybe because it's a Dodge, it's going to, take bigger swings, what is it? Peaks and valleys are going to be more dramatic at a lot more dramatic rates.
It could be like a car that we're not aware of, that all of a sudden 6 months everybody's talking about, or a McLaren F1.
The American market is new. You know what I'm saying? The American car, like the craze for American cars, this is all brand new. So,
well, I don't know about that.
I will say, wouldn't you like to know? Says, I will say on the Camaro Collector's Edition, January is only 3 or 4 months earlier than normal production shutdown. According to previous model years, production dates ranged from August to April. I've seen that on the forums.
Forums are a good source sometimes to get some good information, but a lot of times there's so much.
Stay off the forums.
I've been a member.
Dude, bad.
I've been a member of Camaro 5, which also is Camaro.
Not saying he's wrong. Not saying he's wrong.
Yeah,
but I will say this, that is going to be every other car. This is one specific model. This is a collector's edition.
I still think it's going to be a sticker. I think it's just everybody assumes that because the Demon is mechanically so different than everything else, that the Heritage Edition for the Camaro is going to be something like that too. Some Super Zeal one.
They're going to have to do something. Whatever. They're going to have to do something. Otherwise, I could buy all those stickers and badges, put it on mine, and drive around.
I saw a 45th anniversary Camaro that was totaled in a junkyard, and it was not going to be fixed. It was going to be just parted out.
Yeah, but I don't think that those really are worth any money right now.
Exactly. Because it's just a 45. Yeah. It's just a regular Camaro with a different stripe on it and some cool badging. The stitching was nice, the red, white, and blue stitching on the seats and the embossed on the leather. You'll get that kind of stuff out of it. That's what I think that the Camaro is going to be.
They're also non-numbered too. If it was like number 68 of, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But I don't think they're going to do that because they know that long term it's going to bite them in the butt when they bring back the Camaro, or if they don't even cancel the Camaro. If it's just a final edition for the 6th gen and they come up with a new thing, and that's it. Because the 6th gen is, it might be a totally different look as well. I don't think it's going to be a retro, or if it is retro, it's going to be more 80s look, more angular.
So, who thinks I'm wrong? That's what I want to know. Comment that. Who thinks I'm wrong? I want to. This should be interesting. He also said that those dates make sense. Yeah. In the past, yes, I agree with you.
Still here.
Burley says maybe. Oh yeah, we got you, bud. Just do your thing. Maybe they will only have 5 months worth of parts pieces to make the 2024. That's possible too. I think maybe they're taking the couple months to make more parts. It's all up in the air.
Isn't that the same situation with the carbon fiber dash that what is it, ice and steel trim, that they don't have enough carbon
to make the wing, make the carbon
the dash
wing?
Because on the website, it still shows as an option on the website, right?
Yeah, I think they're okay on those. I think they're all caught up on those.
Because
the dates may indicate when the order banks close, not necessarily production. I'm willing to take the bet. I want to know who wants to bet with me. I want to know who wants to take the bet, and what I'll have to come up with something.
You know what the bet
something
is?
Fun. I mean, we don't need to be doing anything stupid here, but
the bet is that those people that will pay the markup for the Heritage Edition and pay stupid prices, they're betting it's the last one.
I'm talking about the production starting in January rather than ending in January. I'm willing to take that bet. I'm willing to take the bet that GM is waiting. They're gonna stand aside. They're gonna let Dodge do its thing. Ford's gonna keep on selling. The Ford market's gonna keep on just doing what it's doing. And I think GM's gonna stand aside. They're gonna wait for the Challenger or the Hemi to go out, and then all the spillover. Once the Hemi's gone and everybody's convinced that the Hemi's done and everything's all dried up, they're going to be looking, for what's left. What's left in the V8 American demographic. And that's when GM's going to come in and say, well, we've got X amount of allocations for X amount of cars. And that's when the fun and games are going to start. That's kind of my theory. But yeah, I want to know who wants to take the bet. Because I'm feeling very, very confident.
Well,
yeah. Okay, I'll buy it and say production ending in January 2024. No 2024 Camaros produced after. Okay, cool, buddy. I'll think of something. He says, wouldn't you like to know? Do you think that all 24s are going to have this packaging? I don't.
No.
Packaging as in what?
Well, I think
Like
he's talking
like
the plaque that all 23s
like a plaque.
have. Yeah, under the hood. I don't think they're going to do that because
so.
I don't think GM has a 7th edition designed since last year.
Just don't.
It's done.
Yeah, we have the Alpha 2 and Cadillac. Cadillac right now has the Alpha 2.
Well, I'm talking about the body, everything. I saw the prototypes. You remember the EV that they were releasing about a year ago? The unveiling of that electric. They didn't show the whole car, but they had those photos. Well, that's the frame and the body. Well,
no.
It won't be EV, but that's what we're going to be looking at. That design.
Yeah.
So that's what I heard from other insiders. Again, big grain of salt. I think it's going to be something like maybe if they wait a year or so, or maybe 6 months to change production, and then they do a big reveal, and they're probably coming up with the marketing for it right now, trying to figure out how to game any losses.
Right. He says, I say last one rolls off in March, end of fiscal year. Is their fiscal end in March? I thought their fiscal ended in December. Is it December? Or, I thought it was third or fourth quarter.
Yeah, end of third quarter.
Is it end of third quarter? I can't remember.
I remember.
Somebody told me one time, but it's years ago, man. But
if production is going to end before, because GM always does this weird, like midway through the year, just like Ford.
Most business.
Yeah, well, Dodge is
What's that?
Whatever. Your car is built on December 31st, 2022. It's a 22 model. January
and that makes
4th.
sense. That makes sense.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
I know.
Yeah. But most businesses, they end their fiscal in December. So, I mean, but it's Fortune 500, it might even be a Fortune 100. I'm not sure.
It's a marketing thing. Because look at the new model and buy it when they know that, they get the highest sales, which is
Dude, it's FOMO. It's FOMO.
Well,
this is it. This is the last one. You better pony up the dough now.
That's why you see Dodge going for these stupid prices, because it's the FOMO.
That's what I'm saying, and it just makes sense for GM just to stand aside, watch what Dodge is doing, and then continue the fun and games after the Hemi's gone. You know what I mean?
But here's the problem, Dodge, that Chevy has to contend with, right? So it's not just big billionaires and rich people buying, stupid markups for the Demon and all that. It's regular people that are putting second mortgages on their houses, taking out $400K to buy this stupid car. And I'm like, what? Why would you cashing out the 401Ks? Worked there for 30 years. They're cashing it out so they pay $1 million for the car.
Watch this. Let me add this to the stream. I'll put us off to the side here. Mr. Burley, if you can, if you recognize this dealership, let me know. Dodge dealer auctioning off price gouged Demon 170 allocation. And this is the one I texted you on. I sent Alex a text message saying, dude, check this shit out. This is crazy. I was like, just keep an eye on it. $221,000 is what it went for. Some schmuck, man, that's being nice. I wish I was that nice. Some schmuck increasing the bid up to $221,000 that doesn't include the options of the car. Right. That's just the base. I can't tell it. 221,000. Is that just the markup, or is that just you know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck. Are you serious? That doesn't include the MSRP?
No, they said so. It doesn't include the options of the vehicle and all that. So
wow, you are on drugs. You're on drugs, dude. Not
to mention that they could also charge you, $50K for undercoating.
Yeah,
because it's a Demon special. It's $50,000.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean,
I don't think that's the total sale price. What will be at the bottom of the contract?
that just hit me. That just hit me because I thought it did. You know,
No,
but
that's just
no.
Marco. That's just
But this.
there's. I'm not going to name
Oh,
it.
okay. Never mind. I thought it was from Omaha. I guess it's an Oklahoma dealer. But
Oh,
it goes on to say that, why would this guy pay 221 when there was still on the table, there's 1,100 demon allocations still left in the USA. So why would someone be willing to pay 221 grand or more for this one?
if another dealership
What's your
is
hypothesis?
asking, well, if another dealership is asking for 500K up front, he might be thinking 200K is a steal, which
Oh my God, you might be right.
and
I see what
that's the
they're.
FOMO. That's the FOMO. And
Oh.
and all it takes, like, and here's a hypothetical, because times are
Yep.
crazy. Let's say 2 years from now, EPA is abolished. Is that within the realm of possibility? I think it is. So
What?
if you have, because I was actually thinking about this, trying to run numbers, maybe do a video about it.
What's up, Cap?
The argument of EV is faster than gas, that the plaid is so much better, and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, unless you take off all the emissions garbage, and then what happens? Because it's not a fair fight. There's no emissions, nothing choking down an EV, but there is on gas.
I'd love to see this Demon 170 versus Tesla Plaid.
I think it is faster, but imagine if a regular Scat Pack, if it's unrestricted by all the emissions, computers that control this, make it more lean than it should be, and all these other 15 catalytic converters. If that car was just raw, which one would be faster? Or at what point will you start seeing faster gas than EV? And that's something
forced
that could
induction
happen
for sure.
Well, yeah, and then you get into supercharged stuff and whatever. But the point I'm getting at is, let's say in this future, you do have deregulation. And all of a sudden, here comes a car that has 1,200 horsepower, factory warranty, and all that, and blows the Demon away. And this is not even a numbered car; it's a regular production car. Then what happens to the Demon? It's not rare enough to where it's going to go up in value. It's going to just be an old. Yeah, it's fast, but
exactly
high production numbers. And it's not like a super rare footnote in history. It's not like the first Demon or like the Dark Demon and all that. No, there's 3,300 going to be made. That's a lot of them. The super stock is much rarer, about half.
Yeah. And
then you go into like I'm not going to say too much, but 1320s, they're right after that. Also very rare cars. So those are the cars that eventually, 10, 15, 20 years down the road will be Barrett Jackson, super high value, because they're rare.
Yeah.
The Demon's not. And I don't know what the issue with the colors, if you can actually get a different color or if they're all that color scheme. Because then it's like, okay, did you get the wheels or did you not get the wheels? The titanium carbon fiber wheels, right?
Well, the thing is where my standpoint is on it is, says I'm not sure why it bothers someone what someone else pays for the vehicle, what they want. In all respect, it's not your money. It doesn't concern anyone other than the one that is buying it. It also sets a precedence for others. And
yeah, well, it is my money because I tried to buy one of these. I don't care if somebody else pays for that much, but I wanted to buy one. Dodge is cutting production, so it's not an issue of I'll just wait next year or I'll whatever, right? This is it.
Yeah.
If you want this car, they will not make it anymore. So
that's why
it's like going to the supermarket and saying, I want eggs. There's a shortage of eggs going on, right? In certain areas. By us, it's still okay. It's still expensive. $5 is like double what it used to be, but
yeah.
What if all of a sudden now there's like, oh no, I'll give you $20, I'll give you $40, and it starts ramping up to a point where you can't afford eggs. Now, yes, eggs are not a car; it's a luxury versus necessity, right? But they can always tell you eat the bugs. You don't have to eat eggs. Whole food, natural foods is a luxury. Right?
This reminds me of like real estate too. They
Yeah,
start herding the masses into, you know what I'm saying?
but it's the way of thinking that bothers me, right? That we accept this kind of attitude, right? That it's okay. Uh, See, if this was a computer like the GFX, well, not GFX, what were they called? The NVIDIA, the T66, whatever. I don't know. I bought one of those.
Yeah.
Market was high. It was way too much, but I needed it. Yada yada. I didn't care that there were some people paying $10,000 for a graphics card. Right? It is what it is. But this, right? Dodge has an image, the market of the everyman car, right? We're not talking Lamborghini. We're not talking about a rich guy wearing, freaking track pants and a giant gold chain. This was everybody could get one of these cars. And what bothers me is that this kills car culture as something accessible. That's the issue. Dodge now can't say that it's an every guy car. No, you got to be rich, wealthy to get a Hellcat. You can't be just a regular guy. I mean, there are still some guys out there that got them at MSRP, right? But most people, they pay huge markups. And next thing you go to a car show, you're not going to see plumbers, you're not going to see carpenters and whatever, bus drivers that have a car like this. It's going to be a hedge fund manager. And that kills the aspirational nature of what a Mopar was, or a Camaro was, a Mustang was. That's why
a lot of, but the thing is like we've been here for years as enthusiasts, and now we got a couple dumbasses rolling in here just ruining everything.
Yeah, I mean
that's what sucks. That's what sucks for me.
And I get what Kay is saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I do, and I agree with capitalism and let the market lie as it lie, but it's like
but we're
there's
dealing
a point
with
of
I want to see the future. I want to see young kids being able to afford these cars. They got to be on a used car lot. If they're not on a used car lot because somebody's protecting it and selling it at Barrett Jackson 5 years from now, there will be no used Emmys for sale. There will be no used Camaros for sale, no used Mustangs. And what do these kids get into? Who knows? If they even get into cars, like now we have record low driver's license applicants for 18-year-olds like never before. Like, what was it? They haven't been this low since pre-World War II, when having a car was still, prices down.
That's what me, myself, and I is trying to say. If V8 was a popular car that many can afford, and all of a sudden it becomes unaffordable, does it mean that regular people can't afford it? That's exactly what it means. It's just it's I mean, how do you put it in context for the people that are just coming in and they're trying to start these bidding wars, and it's like, dude,
well, they don't care. It's kicking.
The price is $96,000. It's a $96,000 car. Sell it for sticker.
I hate this. I got a lot of followers, subscribers, whatever, that are boomers, and it's not all of them. But this is a boomer mentality of I got to get mine. Screw everybody else.
Yep. Screw everybody else.
I lived through the first generation muscle car wars, so this time around, I can afford it. I can bid. I don't care what happens after. Well, here's the problem. And this is the paradox of the Demon. Why I think the Demon is going to be a terrible investment. 10 years from now, nobody's going to know what a Hemi is. Young people, for example. Somebody that's 20-year-olds now, right? 10 years from now is going to be 30. He's going to have some money, be successful in his business. And when he goes to spend his disposable income, he won't be thinking, I want a cool car. He'll be thinking, I want a cool phone. Well, not this,
Anything.
but you know what I mean. Like they're going to be
anything.
Who knows? Maybe they're going to say, "I want to buy virtual reality property in Meta." That's the kind of, and unless we do something culturally, right? And this is separate. This is a culture battle, not a capitalist or free market against it or whatever. Because ultimately, you know what? If people want to pay $1 million for it, fine from that aspect. But we're talking about what do we do? How do we persuade in a free market manner the manufacturer and the dealership to not do this because we want to see this perpetuate in the future? And that's something that a lot of people don't care about.
I hate to say it, but it's about like anything else. You got to make it sustainable. And you got a couple people trying to come in here and drive the prices up, and now it's a free for all, doing a pump and dump, trying to just freaking get rich and try to get everybody to throw every fucking last penny that they have at everything. And now, now the market's screwed forever, or it's going to take probably decades to come back down to planet Earth. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, John Todd is asking, what does Challenger Scat Pack wide body sell for where you're at? Are you talking to me or Alex?
Well, I bought.
I think they're right around 60 where I'm at. But there's a dealership close by. I'll swing by and check tomorrow.
70 with taxes.
70 fucking grand.
Yeah. That's about, taxes are high. We got 8.6% taxes. So there's another 10 grand, more or less, right there. Registration, insurance, first thing, and all that. And well, here's the thing. You want, Drew, go ahead. I don't want to take but
Mr. Burley here?
Yeah, because that's a very good question.
No, I don't think it's worth 80K. No, because sticker on it's 60. I think it's worth 60. What are you getting? It's 500 horsepower. It's not numbered. There's nothing special about it. What, mag ride? You get everything that you get and more in a ZL1. But
you know why
what were you going to say?
That much? You know why I say yes, it is worth that much?
Why?
Not thinking in $2022, $23, $2024. Inflation will make that your average baseline for a muscle car. What we look at 60K, 50K now will be the 80K in the future. That's why.
Then the ZL1's a bargain of a century right now as it is.
Yeah.
Buy them up. Buy them up.
It's not like, here's the thing, because there's a difference between investing as a form of making money versus investing as a hedge so you don't lose money. So if you have a lot of debt right now, debt against a hard asset,
Yeah.
Well, look at interest rates. Because right now, if the dollar decides to double and gas is $10 a gallon, everything goes up. Even your salary, maybe not as much, but your interest on your loan stays the same. It's a fixed loan. Your house, cars, especially a car that maybe appreciates on its own, right? But now you have the dollar collapsing.
Yeah, but bro, now you have financial institutions pulling out of automotive financing.
Oh yeah,
period.
Because they're
saying there's no financing. Sorry.
Exactly, and that's why I think this boat has sailed. And I kind of got lucky because I bought 4 cars, right?
Yeah, good for you.
4 cars locked in at that interest rate. So I have one at 4%. One is 8%. I tried to refinance one of them that was at the 8% one. I can't. It's like no way.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Yeah.
But 4%, I just recently did the stick shift. 4 point something, with just under 5% interest rates. Yeah. And that basically, I'm not going to lose money on it. The bank is going to lose money big time. So they're raising rates. You're going to see these prices go up because the dollar is kind of, it's very weak. There's other, international issues on your trading with China. And it's funny how it all ties in. Well, it ties into the EV thing too.
I know. Yeah.
Why is Saudi Arabia doing this? Because part of that deal is to make the biggest gasoline refinery in the world in China.
Yeah.
China, like everybody thinks China with they're the new energy vehicles they call them over there, right? The EVs. But all of a sudden, they're not selling so well. There are no more subsidies for EVs starting in 2023 in China. Do you know that? A lot of people don't know this. So China, my opinion is that China uses this as a weapon to cripple us financially, to get us all aboard on this technology that is a dead-end technology, while they were doing both at the same time. Now, they don't care about their people, that they get stuck with a car with nowhere to plug it in. That's your problem, because it's the CCP. But now we're stuck, and we're collapsing, because China's collapsing too, economically. But they still have gasoline and oil industry, and it's going just okay. So going back to this, is it worth it? I think we have to define what worth is, and that's a very serious question. What is worth going to be in 23, 24, and so on?
Kay says he got his at 7%. Believe it or not, dude, that's actually pretty decent. Yeah, that's actually pretty, because I think national average right now is 12. Fed didn't step in and raise the interest rates this month, but they will next month. I almost guarantee it. That now they haven't done anything yet, but they're trying not to. And I got no choice.
Well, look at what everybody in the news is saying, like, oh no, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. The Fed will not be bailing out Silicon Valley, First Republic, and all that, but they are. But they're not bailing them out through Fed money. They're using the FDIC not to bail out the private accounts, to bail out the bank itself. And they have, I forgot what they're calling it, that's some fancy word. So when somebody asks, when somebody asks, like, oh, the Fed is bailing out these banks, the Fed will say, no, we're not doing anything. We have no idea. When it's the FDIC. Yeah. It's all one government, but they can, different pockets of the same pants.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a very good analogy for it. That is very good. But I want to follow up this dark horse.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. Myself. Here's what I'm saying. When you get down to the nitty gritty and the details on Mustangs, they always do the dog shit, bare ass minimum for the transmissions they put in those cars. It's like they barely handle like 100 foot-pound torque over what is rated for when they come from the factory. They don't put anything extravagant. Camaro, 1,000, even in the SS, 1,000 foot-pounds from the factory. So you put a triple disc clutch in that thing, you're limited by the motor, the drive shaft, and the axles. That's your weak link. Because even the ELSD on an SS1LE handles 1,450 foot-pounds of torque.
But these are details that can work out. They'll work.
I'm just saying that's value to me, because that's upgrades and stuff you don't have to invest money into down the road that they give you free from the factory, that you don't get when you pay more for the Dark Horse from Ford. I think you're getting screwed, but
that's my opinion on the 1320 for the Mopar, right? Like, you're getting a lot
is a 1320? Yeah. Yes.
Like, why isn't this car more popular?
Yes.
It's intimidating. It comes with drag.
Welcome to the driving side.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what started this whole channel.
Yeah. So, but I like I said, the issue is it's overpriced. 80 grand for the Dark Horse. Yeah. Now,
to me.
Now think of it. If your salary was up 50%, would it be worth it then? Yes, I think so. And that's the issue, because the Dark Horse, by the time it hits the market, they already calculated. We know the interest rates right now are hovering between 12 to 15, and if you're more aggressive, it's 20%. They figured, well, let's add 20% on this 60K, and you get around that. That's why I think it will sell. Unless the economy crashes and nobody has a job, and we got bread lines and whatever,
Oh, that's a whole different scenario. But
exactly. Well, there will be some level of that. We're already seeing it with Google layoffs, YouTube layoffs, and all these other, Facebook and Lyft. I heard Lyft is gonna might go by under. So
the Camaro, for lack of better terms, was over-engineered for the most part. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is when I bought this car, I'm like, oh my god, like nobody's talking about this. It's at the bottom of the sales pile. Like you're getting all this free stuff. It's free and it's already engineered, done, and installed for you. And you're priced in the middle, like under Dodge, but above Ford. So it's like,
yeah, that was kind of always,
nobody knows about this.
What? Well, yeah, because we're there's still this mentality of brand loyalty, and I don't understand why that's a thing. Like, do you own stock in GM to be loyal only to Camaros, or stock in Dodge or Ford or whatever? I'm loyal to the brand that's loyal to my goals, my criteria. And that's the way as a consumer. Yes, we have a cult following. We love the cars, right? Yeah. But if they stop making it, then it's not like, I don't look at the band sheet. That's not a Mopar to me. No, I don't care what they call it. It ain't a Mopar. It's not part of the same mentality. Just like the Mockery is not a Mustang.
Yep. Well... Tim Kaniskis, and I don't know. I mean, we got the Chevrolet Slam Donkey on our side, and she is really just she's straddling that bullet and riding it all the way to hell, because this thing is it's going nowhere fast. But my thing is like, this car is so good, and they have all, just like you said, they have all the stuff to make it the 7th gen Camaro right in front of their face right now, and they're not doing it by decision. And it's like, you know what I mean?
They're the way they're running GM. Like, even I remember when Cadillac decided to move its headquarters to New York City. Why? Okay. And they spent all this money on this elaborate thing and lifestyle. They were trying to copy Lincoln, because Lincoln was going after a more female demographic with. That I still am going to make that episode. Watch. Just going through the website. I'm like, what is it? Are you selling Tinder profiles or is it cars? Because I can't tell. Cadillac tried that and lost a lot of money. So they kind of veered back and started pushing the Blackwing stick shift car, giving it to magazines and all that.
CT5.
Yeah, they're trying to recover a little bit of image lost by going the Champagne and Biscotti image. Because it's not working for Lincoln, but Lincoln doesn't have anything to give you. It's a EcoBoost engine. Screw that. If Lincoln put out a car with a big V8, right, with the Coyote in it, that thing would sell like hotcakes. Make it rear-wheel drive. Take the Continental, make it rear-wheel drive, put suicide doors on it, put a V8 in it. You would have a best-selling car. Like, I would trade in any one of my, well, not any of them, but I would trade in one of my Challengers to get one of those. Now, I do like the big sedans, right? You know, especially Ford sedans, the Crown Fakes, the Continentals back in the day.
Sure.
But if they did, the problem is that they don't know how to market to men anymore. And a lot of that is that men are no longer, like, gender roles have shifted, have changed. Family is not the biggest thing anymore. So a guy that's single, am I going to buy a big car? Not really. I'll go with the 2-door stick shift or whatever, right? And maybe, and it's an issue. I can't even afford a Lincoln. Lincoln is up there. You know, Cadillac. What's the Escalade, right? The Blackwing Escalade. That's $150,000 MSRP. I mean, not all of them, but I went nuts and they built one. And it's like 150.
Yep. The one I wanted, the one that I wanted. Go ahead. And doesn't even have what?
Doesn't even include the price for the rims I chose. So I went with that metallic red and all that, and it was these black, like really thin spoked rims with the brown interior that was like very 70s. Like, I love that. And I'm like,
how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel?
I felt like somebody just took, breast knuckles.
You're like, are you freaking serious? Are you
uppercutting me
serious?
in the balls. I know, like a
Speed
Popeye.
Yeah.
Hello,
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I went through the building price and I built one. And this was when I was getting my ZL1 when I was ordering it, and because I really wanted one, I'm like, dude, 4 doors, because I don't have a problem with 4 doors. I actually like them, and I'm like, it's a 4-door ZL1. It's more practical. It's gonna hold its value. It's a drop dead sexy car. It's very rare. They're only gonna make, well, initially they said what 1,240. It was a very odd number, 1,240 or 1,400.
Even rarer.
Yeah. I was talking to a guy at a speed shop across town here, and he said there was like 300 or something of the stick shifts made.
Exactly.
And yeah, it was when I built it, it was like I stopped at 114 grand, and I'm like, nope. The ZL1 is still sticker price 66.
That's what kind of.
It's almost half price.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't have all the space, the Battlestar Galactica seats. Not Battlestar, like the Star Trek Enterprise seats with the white and the black. They are nice, but that costs money. You get the cheap Recaros.
But
it's cheaper to make them, right? So that's why the Camaro ZL1 is going to be cheaper than the Caddy, because they put all.
I'll be honest.
Stuff. And,
I'll be honest.
We don't care about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Burley says, Andrew, are you still going to try to order a 2024 ZL1 1LA? No, I'm not. Nope. The dealer I had across town here, there's been an attitude change. I'm not playing into this game. I was emotionally exhausted going into it. And I'm over it, man. I mean, I got a ZL1. I'm telling you, it's the same car. It's the same. It is. The wing is ugly. I don't like the wing. I already got the front end. I prefer the mag ride because the mag ride is adjustable. The 6-speed, nice. I got the 0.51 to 1 ratio. That's the one you want because six gears is double overdrive. So the 0.5 to 1 to 1 is going to get way better gas mileage than the 0.68 to 1. So I got the transmission that I wanted. There's just nothing. Just nothing. There's nothing about a ZL1 1LE. I'm going to get my head taken off. And I'm going to be waiting, and I'm going to be getting pissed like I was the last time. And yeah, no. No. I don't have it set up yet, Kay, to take phone calls. That's going to be something I thought about doing in the future. Nice. It depends on how big this live stream gets. Do you guys like the live stream or the videos? Because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to do both. You like to do both? I know. It's so much work, but I mean, it's worth it because I really do love sitting here talking to you guys, and it's like a Mustang guy.
Yeah, we got to duke it out. I don't think any of us get sets. Like one of those dyed in the wool, die hard, bleeding Ford blue and whatever. But it did a little bit of, I like this. It's better. It's always a little fun,
Yeah. I mean, no, but the thing is all of these cars, the very bottom one, I would still take a Charger over a Mercedes-Benz. I would still take a Mustang over a Porsche. I would still take any of these domestics.
Yeah, the new ones are like, okay.
Well, I'm just saying they're way overhyped.
Okay, maybe because I watched a couple of things that were like, I want that car now.
What? Which car? Which car?
CLK GTR.
It all goes back to that sandwich we were talking about, Alex.
It's flattened. Yeah, that thing is like 50 million. Well, no, you know what I'm talking about, right? That's like the Le Mans race car. They only made 50.
Oh, the was it
It
the
only
CLK GT1 or something
GTR.
like that?
Yeah. So
Okay,
it took
yeah,
the
yeah,
headlights from the
yeah,
CLK, the grill from the CLK, and the taillights, and the rest of the
yeah,
car was a copy of the McLaren F1.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
was a knockoff.
The
love that
CLK
thing.
was a good looking car.
I
It
used
was
to
a
play
good
Need
looking
for Speed, and
car.
that's why I wanted that in hot pink.
I'm gonna tell you what. Out of all the years of doing body work and drilling out spot welds and taking BMWs and you know all those cars apart, they're they are. Here's the thing: is they're over engineered. They're built like tanks. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're built like tanks. They're solid. Don't get me wrong.
The 90s
But
E-Class. Oof.
Alex, when you're talking $70 or $100 for a thermostat that should cost 10 or 12, I mean, I just have a problem. I have a problem. You know what I'm saying? It'll last 150,000 miles, but once you do have to replace it, and once they start breaking down, these cars are just fucking financial nightmares. And that's the reason. What?
That's I can get parts from them, so that's why maybe I'm a little less harsh on the parts prices here.
Yeah, but I mean,
buddy of mine in Germany that he can send me, and I've done this for my bus. I needed the MAN filters. I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could find was like
Napa is the only place that carries them.
No, they don't carry that. It's a
wow.
The flat six diesel that they made back in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, you're not finding that. So, I mean, you could find it in the marine sector, and it was $150, $100, something like that for the filter. So I call up my buddy over in Romania. I was like, hey, I need a filter. Okay, send me a filter. The postage was more than the filter. Yeah, Porsche lost its way ever since they made the Panamera. I'm sorry.
Porsche lost its way when they started marking the 911 up and up and up and up and up and up. Yeah. And it's at the point now to where a Porsche Turbo is over $250,000, over $250,000.
But at least the Porsche was always the rich boy's car. The F-boy car, you know, that's always what it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the Dodge or Mustang. That's why we're going back to markups. Like why we're so against this, because it's going to alter the image for the future. Porsche, whatever. Mercedes, again, it's one of those drinking with your pinky, pinky race kind of.
Yeah.
Pass through the group palm.
Yeah, and a dog named Jenkins. But the thing, from my standpoint and my vantage point of it is now I have to invest about another $1,500 to $2,000 in tools, because now all of a sudden I got to have 12-point spline drive,
I know,
1/4 inch, 3/8, half inch, and it's like you gotta. Yeah, what the fuck? It's you got to adopt all these tools just to be able to do your own stuff, and now you have to understand a whole different
suspension.
Dude, I have no idea.
I have no idea. The Baco angry pliers. I use that on those, and that's it. But you can't do that at a dealership, so it costs and maintenance prices.
Well, the best, but the Camaro CL11LE ripped a 716 on the ring. That's a lot faster than a lot of supercars. Yeah. So it's like I'm good with the Camaro. Like I'm very, very cool with it. Like it does everything that I need to. You can still tune it. You can get it in a stick. The ELSD, Dodge doesn't have it. Ford doesn't have it, dude. Yeah. Once you drive one, it's insane.
I'm curious about that too.
Come on over. We'll go for a ride, man. We'll go for it. And I mean a real ride.
You can't get that on the SS, the ELSD. Well, no, you can, but it forces the SS to become a 1LE.
Yes.
You
can't get it.
I don't want the 1LE. I want the suspension.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
It's little things. Two things. One, the hood. I don't want the hood wrap. It's like, okay, so you got to rip. I know, but I don't like breaking things. I can't. It'll
I
never be
know.
factory again. So I'd have to
You
buy another
bring-
hood, keep the
Bring it over to my place. I'll do it for you.
and the interior.
I love breaking things.
You cannot get the red interior if you get a 180. And I'm like,
that's true.
GM, I want to give you my money.
Yeah.
Why are you not letting me give you my money?
Yeah.
What is
It's a necessary evil. That's why it comes in at such a good price point. It's because they box you into certain packages, and,
I know.
and that's just the way it is.
I know I'm an oddball with my tastes, but that's like one of the reasons why I love this stupid Charger so much, because it's got a red interior. I'm like, oh my god, it's awesome. It's different.
Yeah. So when you having your car show?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
That's good. For September this year. Hopefully, if it works out. I'm trying to get one of my buddies that he used to run a car show for about 15 years. And this year is the first year where they're not doing it. They used to go at a high school. They kicked them out or whatever. I don't know the details. But
yeah. Did you get the spot? You got the. I
do have a spot.
Okay.
I'm not going to give out their name yet because it's advertising for it. It's a dealership. And the relationship right now is kind of strained. But I may be able to do a hotel, which would be great because people can spend the night. Because if I want to do a multi-day event, or at least they don't have to leave immediately. Yeah, so there's something like that I would like to do. If not the first
I wouldn't give out too many details right now.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that this is my desire, my hope, because I want people to get hyped. Because the more people that pre-register, right, once that starts, the more we can say, okay, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have music, we're gonna have this, and I can get some. I actually have a band I want to bring over that's, good music and cars. And one thing that I don't see this anymore: the exhaust competition, where you pull up your car, you put the microphone, and people cheer and whoever for the loudest car. I thought that was it's so fun, and it's like, right, you do an exhaust competition and just rev it, and you're like, and then you get a trophy.
They used to have that back in the day.
Yeah.
Back when
I mean, they used to do burnout competitions too, like static. So
rev battles. They used to have
So I was thinking something like that. Oh wait, rev battle.
Yeah, that's what they called it back in the day.
I know, but
they'd line up two cars, and then and you'd have the crowd cheer, and whoever got the loudest cheer advanced into the next round, and then they lined up two more cars, and it was that's how they used to do it. And then they'd have burnout contests and stuff like that. I wish they'd bring that stuff back, but everyone seems to like pissing their pants about everything, and
like if it was my property, I don't care. Like if you look at my driveway, I got rubber marks everywhere, and a couple of places where I melted the asphalt, and it's like dimples.
It's decoration. I thought about taking my drone and making a compilation of all the freaking donut marks and burnout. Yeah, I think that's cool as shit. It makes me laugh and makes me smile every time
I may or may not have a secret spot where I go to do my donuts and power slides and drifting. I may or may not have it on my channel in a couple of episodes, but it was in Mexico.
Well, just don't have anything where it's time and date and location. You're good to go, buddy.
That used to be a good place to go. We used to take the buses there when I was a bus driver, and we did some stuff there too. But that was legit with the buses. The power sliding of buses, not, but because that was the 2000s when you can do that and not be like freaking sent to Guantanamo.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to know says not as many custom exhaust setups now though. Nobody knows anything about pulses or heat scavenging or how to manual bending or tube wall thickness or how to really like dial in a sound. It's just like Corsa's the best. I love Corsa.
A lot of the stuff, like on my, okay, we can Google it in my brain. Like my older cars have, one of them has custom exhaust, right? And that's why I can tell you right now, it's a lot easier to do older cars. Because they don't have the computers, they don't have O2 sensors, you don't have all these things you gotta, basically it's like a maze where you gotta hit these milestones. So you always have to come back to this and then spread out and whatever. Whereas an old car, sky's the limit, and you all gotta do is back pressure, X pipe, H pipe, and what you're saying, wall thickness and diameter.
Oh yeah, all of it matters. It's like tuning an instrument. Because the way that the air passes through the head, valve angle, it's going to have everything to do with that pulsation and the sound that it's going to carry.
Do you got polished exhaust? Do you have what kind of intake do you have? Because that makes an effect too, right? Especially on the older cars. So if you have something that's polished intakes versus not, you're going to get a different sound at the out.
I'm just saying, shops like, just take like DDE, Daily Driven Exotics. They're always pumping or they're always hanging out at Gentani.
Wait.
And
how
that's
do you DDE?
What, DDE?
Yeah. How do you know?
You don't watch your channel?
Oh, never mind.
No, it's a.
There's a local speed shop that's next town over, and it was Daily Driven something. But yeah, he's the guy that crashed the LP, the Lamborghini, or what did he have? Somebody rear-ended him, right?
Oh, he's crashed quite a few of them, but yeah.
Recently, but no, I mean, where it was like in LA and all that. Right?
Yeah.
All right, man. See you, Todd.
But
good seeing you here, man.
But yeah, I mean, they hang out Gentani, and Gentani, they've capitalized on that market now. It's just kind of what was popular back then is popular again.
That's more the import kind of stuff. So Oh, congratulations, man!
Nice.
Oh, I know. Now I know who K is. Okay.
Can I add? Did you have to wait for that Challenger?
Yeah.
Is there a wait for Dodges? Or I don't know how this is working with the Brampton plant and everything kicking them out.
Well, I don't want to give out because now I know which K we're talking about. But he did he has a beautiful car, man, like gorgeous. But there was a lot of wait and a lot of uncertainty, and the dealerships again were like iffy. But ultimately he got.
Were they jerking him around, or what? Were they fucking? Were they jerking him around?
A little bit. Like I remember, this is when I got the shoot. What was I getting at the time?
Did you pay a markup, K? Did you pay over sticker? Or did he? I don't know if he's still in here or not.
Yeah, he's. But yeah, I don't remember if he had. It wasn't that much. If there was a markup, I don't, because I would have told him like, look, whatever. He went down. John, 2 years, yeah.
What? You waited 2 years?
I heard it. There's cases like that where it would go from model year to model year, because an allocation issue. The dealership tells you they have it, but they don't.
John, so were you making payments on that car for that 2 years, or did you just have an allocation and then that, because I don't know the games Dodge is playing, because I can only imagine that they're playing the same games as GM. It's just amplified.
It's different.
Is
it
different?
I remember when I bought my Camaro, right? There were allocation issues and all that, but it was just a V6. But the color was the problem, because I wanted red rock metallic, which is an insanely rare color apparently, even though it was the color of all the promo cars, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't pay. I paid sticker. I actually got some rebates, some conquest, whatever. It wasn't as bad then, right? But yeah. He was early on, but still, it's fairly late. We're already April, And mine came in very fast, the 1320, because I ordered that like on the first week of when order banks opened up. I put in my order, and I thought it would be here in July. And then here it is, February came, bam. And I'm like, what? There's salt on the road. Yeah, brother.
Yeah. John Todd said he ordered his in 20. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Was that an order or was that an allocation? That's because I just have a hard time Dodges pulling crap like that where it's like 2 fucking years where.
It's it's an allocation problem and a dealership that basically tells you, yes, we have it, and they put in the order and it sits in limbo, right? So in Dealer Connect, if you put
an order.
Yeah, and it's the order will basically show up on the screen, but it's read it out.
Yeah.
So it's not going in. And usually it's an option or something that's wrong, right? And you get these codes, right? Yeah. I think BZ is the bad one. You get BZ, you got a problem. Right. So if you put in the order and the whole car is rented out, that means they don't have an allocation at all. So it sits there, and it gets picked up the next model year. And if the dealership says, hold on, let's not put this in yet because I got markup customers, then you get pushed back again. And so there's a lot of people that had this issue.
Oh my God. They put the order in every few months. I would go back and ask, and they would tell me, yeah, it's not moved yet. Yeah, it sounds like kind of like GM. Yeah, no, but the whole point of this stream, the whole point, kind of the bedrock of this whole topic is markups. And my opinion on them was from the beginning, dealerships were, obviously we don't have, it's supply and demand, right? So we don't have the supply now, but the demand's still there. If not, it's increasing.
Yeah.
Yes. So if it's a supply and demand issue, so now the allocation is, well, my dealership could have sold 10 cars, but now they get to sell 2. So they were trying to like front load the profit loss for the other 8 in order to, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
in order
to kind of
counterbalance.
Yeah.
Now it seems like they're kind of looking out 25 years into the future. What's the maximum value of this car is going to be?
And, that's on our end, the customer end, yeah. Whereas
and now they're trying to take the appreciation up front. But now
because they need to survive. They need to survive 24 because they know that sales are going to tank. And Kaniskis mentioned this at the what do you call it? Las Vegas Roadkill Nights. They even said, "Thank you, dealership. Thank you, dealers. Thank you, dealers."
Yep.
He was talking to the dealers that this car would make them their money so they can stay afloat while they figure out the EV problem. That tells us a lot. There's no confidence in the Hurricane that it will be anything like a Scat Pack or whatever,
Rob Day says, by that happening, I'm assuming the supply and demand issue of, or no, maybe that was, he was commenting to John Todd there. Sorry, that was between them. But they're going one step beyond that. And now the brand new trend is, how much money can I get from you, period, without just sticking a gun in your face?
The balkanization of economy. It's the balkanization of economy where you're not thinking long term. You just, can I get my big payout now? Yep. And I've seen this firsthand. I've seen how it goes, and it doesn't end. It doesn't end well. A lot of companies go bankrupt, and maybe that should be the case. And who knows? Maybe this channel, my channel, and whatever, we get so big that we have enough money to buy Dodge for Stellantis. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna lay off the good.
Well, I'm just saying it's
gotta have goals.
Yeah. It's you definitely gotta have life goals there. But I'm just saying now it seems like it's nothing but wealth extraction from the public, just like you were saying, because they're trying to look into 2024 and rat hole some money. and build that savings account up.
Well,
And
there
it's
a
like,
lot of these cars, and that's the other thing we can, a lot of the
what
Demon
expense?
170s are not sold, and they will not be sold yet. They're just going
Well,
to
that
sit
website just said they have like 1,100 more allocations available.
but they're not available. They're allocations that are showing up because they haven't been sold and titled. See you later, man. What's going to happen is they're going to tuck those cars away, like the special edition cars, and every few years auction one off at Brigade Trailer, Barrett Jackson, Amelia Island, and so on. That's what the dealerships are doing. But yeah, and they're going to go for God knows what amounts, right? Because if they come out trickling, right, it's short supply, high demand. They're going to create the hype. They're going to try to ride this wave of the 170 and the special editions and Hemi and all that for many years to come, because they know that they're not going to sell that many straight sixes. The straight six Challenger or Charger, whatever they're going to call it, cannot compete against the Camaro or a Mustang with the V8. Just won't. Even if it's faster or more powerful, you're still going to want people that, and I'm one of those kinds. I want the V8 first.
Yep.
You know?
Look at the Ford Raptor. Everyone's, every comment on YouTube. The Ford GT is a whole different ball. But I mean, the Ford Raptor, everybody, all the comments, everybody that gets a camera stuck in their faces, it does pretty good for a V6. You would think that it would be, but you can tell they're longing for the V8. Yes.
For a V6.
They're it's in the back of their mind. We want the V8.
That's the same with the GT.
They're comparing it to a V8.
Yeah.
They're you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, everybody wants the V8. I don't know why we got to sit here and just kill it, but it's.
Well, that's the EPA.
I am.
The EPA is constantly making life more miserable, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because we don't put emissions on private jets. No, we don't do that. But our cars, they put emissions, and once you meet those emissions,
construction equipment, cruise ships,
exactly. But when a company like Dodge, GM, whatever, they manage to squeeze out 1,000 horsepower out of a V8, meaning emissions, magically there's new EPA guidelines. Magically, CAFE standards increase for MPG.
Yeah.
It's like if I want a car to burn, why does the government tell me what my car should consume?
The fuck is that? Somebody doing a little, somebody a little. He says, but in all reality, Challenger looks better than Camaro Mustang. Period. Oh, come on now, come on now. Oh, ES287. What about train emissions? I don't know about that actually, but I'm gonna tell you this: within the past year and a half or 2 years, the rail yards are awfully empty. Those rail cars are being put into use. So that's another example.
Well, they're also cutting. They're lowering standards at the railway companies. That's how we got East Palestine.
I don't see any electric trains.
We have them here. That's the Northeast Corridor. But it's mostly passenger. Trains? Yeah, mostly passengers. Not a lot of freight moved electrically. But they do have them along the Eastern Seaboard. But they still burning. Where's that electric coming from? It's coal. Whatever.
I don't know. Do they have a current passing through the tracks?
It's government. No, it's going for overhead. 27,000 volts. Yeah. I mean, I used to love trains, so that's why I remember Northeast Seaboard and all that. But
yeah.
Okay, I don't know because I had a V6 Camaro and I love that thing. You could put louvers on it.
You could get.
Yeah. You can put louvers on the Camaro.
You and those louvers, you're a louver man. Yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking about doing that to the stick shift Challenger. Okay, but I can't find a good set. They all look really cheesy.
Chintzy and cheap. Yeah.
Maybe if Mustang Racing MRT, they make the best 5th gen louvers for Camaro. So if you're out there watching, Look them up. They're about $500. I'm not paid on whatever, but I'm even thinking about buying a set just to have whenever I buy another fixture.
Yeah.
Like a Z28
Mike,
with louvers.
oh no! Mike Burley says, "Trust me, airplanes need emission control. I work on them, and the exhaust coming out of them is rancid.
There's not much you can do about it because it's the nature of it. It's exhaust. You need that exhaust to get thrust. But I mean, I think it should be, we should go the other way and just say deregulate it. If you have pollution locally, then we do something about that, right? But it's like the argument of we generate trash, right? What do we do with it? We don't tell people, oh, just stop wiping your butt. No, we just flush it away so we don't have a pit in the ground like in the medieval age. We flush it away, we clean it, we process it, we do these kinds of things. Why can't we do that kind of emission control? Because it's not about emissions, it's all about control. That's it.
Boom. Bingo. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, flat out, I agree with you. But and that also falls right into these dealer markups, period, flat out. No one can tell me different. It's about control, trying to mass herd FOMO everybody into buying. Oh, you got to have this. You got to have this. And there's only 3,300 available. And after that, they're done.
It's going to work.
And then
it's already working. So it is.
Look at housing, man. Look at housing. You used to be able to buy a fixer-upper for, I mean, in the real small areas around here, you used to be able to buy a house here for like $15,000, less than a car, and now those are gone.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't get me started in my area here. Like the average house price is like $600K.
Yep. And I mean, that's what they did. That's what they did with, and now. I firmly believe that there's going to be a price of half price houses. Those days are coming.
I don't know, because it's all an issue of inflation. Maybe some areas, the less desirable areas. That's what I'm waiting on, because I want to buy some property and get out of New York. I want to go to North Dakota or Wyoming or.
Well, they run it right off a cliff. Go over to Illinois, like I said in the last stream. Go over. Yeah. There's mansions, massive properties that are just being abandoned because everybody's going bust, can't afford. Goes up, and then it's just right off the cliff until somebody, just like Detroit, goes and buys it for $1.
Until they change policy, nobody's going to want to live there, Yeah, or something like that. Like I
will not do it. Will not do it.
I bought a house with my mom. That's one of the things. Like, I'm not ashamed about it. It's difficult living with your parents as an adult, but it's what we did in the old country. That's what 3 generations we live in the same house.
It's a culture thing.
Well, it's a financial thing because neither one of us could afford a house, on our own. We put our resources together. Bang, we got a house. We did it before the insanity, which was just by chance that happened. And she was Jersey. Like, oh, let's look into Jersey. Like, no, because everything in Jersey is like literally you can read the toilet while your neighbor's on the toilet. You can read his newspaper. That's how close you are. So he's sitting there, and you can see the headline. I want to be able to not see my neighbor, period, at all, far away. So I'm further up north. It's a little cheaper, although now it went up because we have a train going to Manhattan. That means prices just exploded.
Yeah,
it's like, well, that's
you need to move out here then.
Yeah,
you might drive 15-20 minutes at 75 miles an hour and not see anybody.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want that. I want a big enough. I want to build a racetrack, like that anybody can come on. A drag strip and a cross something, and just free entry any time of day or night. It's just you sign a waiver, you can get on and just have fun.
Yeah, in a dream world. But yeah, I agree with EST. The cookie cutter home for $400,000, never. I listen. My rent is cheap. Probably $400,000. Not where I'm at. It's average. That's average for here. But it's like just 5 years ago, you used to be able to go buy a decent home for 180.
Yeah.
Now the same one's scratching 300, and it's like,
well, just wait till we get to a point where your taxes will be as much as your mortgage.
Yeah.
That's the killer. The taxes, property
Guaranteed.
taxes, they keep going up, Got to pay for all the spending.
Do you think they'll ever come down?
No. Inflation. Remember, we're going to be like those old timers. Sonny, back in my day, I used to earn a nickel polishing shoes, and I would take that nickel and I would get myself a nice pair of pants and a good hot corn porridge.
No, I'm hoping a ZL1 takes me out by then, but yeah. No,
for me, it's probably going to be a jack stand that fails. That's or an angled grinder accident.
Detroit, New York, and all of the cities like that are garbage. If they clean up the trash, then they might be good. Yeah. God damn, that'd take so much money, and for somebody to actually care.
It needs bankruptcy first because the debt is so high. I don't see him doing that.
Woo! Mike Burley says property taxes here in Omaha suck. $340,000 for a house. 9,100 property taxes.
Okay, that is kind of high.
Here that would be about $7,000 here. It's a little bit because
I don't want to say how much I paid because I pay a lot in taxes. Like
but your area is like your area is in outer space. The judicial system is they let the shit right back out. They
it's a joke.
I could talk for fucking days on that. The whole thing needs to be turned inside out and revamped. I mean,
no
we were talking about that. We were talking about that off camera. It's just bad.
Well, we'll try to keep that for.
I try to keep it on four wheels.
Stream.
If you guys want to talk about that, we can. But I mean, it's.
We can. What if we? Sorry, I mean to. If you do some articles too that are relevant to cars and all this stuff, and kind of read through them. Because there's a lot of things.
Talking about the trashy people. He says I was talking about the trashy. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Is there?
But, it's all the city people that are moving out of the city. Now they're coming to my area. I'm like, really? And now they're like the town next door.
Have a good day, Rob.
Yeah. See you, Rob. Town next over, they changed mayors, different party, and all of a sudden they're spending, I don't know, millions of dollars on new traffic lights because that's the priority, traffic lights. They were perfectly fine, but no, we got to put the giant monstrosity poles.
Yeah.
So,
have a good night, Mike. Thanks for joining us, bud.
See you, Mike. So, you want to call it? Call it?
Yeah, we can call the bacon. So tomorrow I'll create the stream and in short, quit the markups. The cars aren't worth it.
They're gonna lose money.
Cars aren't worth it. You're gonna lose
their houses. Yeah.
Probably could have started with that, but
there is a way to do this, but it's very hard because there are people that make money speculating on cars, but it's very difficult, and you got to do volume.
Yeah.
Because you like diversifying your stocks. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, fellas. Well,
have fun with your 10 Hornets.
Oh, shit. Okay. Don't forget to check Alex's channel out, Rip Roaring Garage. Subscribe to both channels. On your way out, please leave a like. And, we'll catch you guys on the next stream. Take care. We'll see you guys.
See you.